Good morning. Oh, come on, that was lame.
Good morning.
Now let's try one more time. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Big time thank you for joining us for Wednesday of Flow. Before we get started with content, I wanted to do a thank you. On the one hand, this is, a vendor-neutral conference. There's a lot of great discussion talking about automation and AI from a business perspective rather than a specific vendor's perspective. But on the other hand, someone had to organize this and handle the logistics and get us all here and give us a great experience where things are so good, where the logistics just disappear behind the scenes and you move on to the next piece of the conference seamlessly over and over again. So I did want to do a round of applause for the Roost event management team to get us here and do a great conference. And again, thank you for having me here. For those who missed it yesterday, I'm Joe Panettieri. I used to blog about the MSP space. I'm now an angel investor in the MSP space in terms of the software companies that sell to and through MSPs. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn. Those who did yesterday, thank you very much. If you have any follow-up questions for me post-event, you can reach me on LinkedIn. You can also check me out on Channel Angels. That's our angel investor network. And Sustainable Tech Partner, which covers green IT services. That was just the recap about me. I have a couple of new slides built from my old slides. Here's what I covered yesterday in terms of why we're here, but I had a couple of new slides I wanted to throw in. And I wanted to reinforce this slide and see if it holds true. For those who were here yesterday, you'll remember, why are we here? And I brought up Springsteen and the Boss, and I thought I'm wondering now, 24 hours later, now that you've had a full day of content here at the conference and conversations and dinner last night, are we developing this here? Is this beginning to apply Bruce's message about why he wrote his music for a community and why he wanted to bring together a community? Does that apply here? And I think absolutely yes. The other thing I wanted to mention, U.S. markets are closed today. Today is a national holiday. I am not an expert by any means on slavery or U.S. history in that area. But I wanted to bring it up and address Juneteenth in a respectful manner that gets us thinking a little bit. And ironically, Willie Mays just died. The Say Hey kid. And this is a photo of the catch from 1954, maybe the greatest catch in baseball history, maybe the greatest player in baseball history. And I just wanted to share one thought. I'm not going to read it. I want you to read this. It's a quote from his autobiography. And I think it pretty much sums up how we can all work together to do better and move the country forward. That's all I have to say about that, because again, I'm not an expert on it. But keep in mind that today is a national holiday, and try to be good to each other. I wanted to bring up this slide as well. Let me just see what else I also wanted to cover before we bring up Rob. Oh, I know what else I wanted to bring up. On a far less serious note of, I mentioned U.S. markets are closed today. But if you watch the U.S. markets yesterday, NVIDIA became the most valuable company in U.S. markets, publicly held companies. Their valuation now has surpassed Apple, Microsoft, et cetera. And, they're at the heart of this whole AI revolution, which on the one hand is pretty incredible, and I am not a stock picker. I have no idea if that stock is going to keep climbing or if it's going to crash. But I am a student of history when it comes to the world of IT and business. And I would, for those of you in the room who are not old enough to remember the dot-com bubble, and are not old enough to remember when Cisco became the most valuable company in the world, surpassing General Electric. I think it was around the 1999, 2000 timeframe. I would tell you to read up on Cisco, which remains a wonderful company today, has pivoted towards cloud and recurring revenues, and is a great company. But if you look at their history and the dot-com bubble and what their stock did during that bubble, and then what it did after that bubble, and how long it has taken them to continually regain their footing, and the stock has never recovered to that bubble height. It's an interesting study, and some people on Wall Street are looking at that and comparing it to NVIDIA and this whole AI craze. I'm much more interested in the software side of AI, so we'll see where it all goes. That's all I wanted to say about that. Keep an eye on it. In terms of this morning's content, we have 3 great presenters for you. The first one I want to bring up in just 1 minute is Rob Ray from Pax8. But I wanted to do a little bit of a history lesson. And Rob, I brought up this slide on purpose. Rob and I have known each other probably since about 2008, 2009, give or take. You've heard me say this before about a handful of people in the industry, and Rob is one of them. Regardless of what I was about to write, what the questions were, Rob would always take the call, and he'd always be thoughtful in his answer and open and honest in his answer. So I want to thank him for that, for being a true partner with media and for trusting me to really report on the facts. But I also want to talk about Rob's journey and the industry journey. Because if you look at these dates and you look at each wave, Rob has helped us all to ride each wave. He helped us to ride that initial managed wave. He was at Level Platforms, helping to educate me in terms of the shift to recurring revenue and managed services. He helped us to navigate the data protection wave and the security wave. And now with Pax8, it's interesting. It's not just about turning on a cloud service. It's about automating it, scaling it, scale up, scale down. It's about being responsive and really being a great partner to the MSPs. So Rob's going to present that in just 1 minute. And in terms of what today looks like overall, let me just get to that real fast. Rob's up first to talk about the cloud marketplace. Then we're going to hear about an MSP case study, and then ROI frameworks for automation.